Hi everyone, it's Dora here. So today I want to talk about forward bending. So forward bends are, very common yoga pose, and likely you'll experience many forward bends within just one yoga class. And especially if you have a regular practice, this is a pose that you will be getting in and out of over and over again. And so especially for movements that are repetitive within a yoga class and a movement that you might be doing a lot of because you have a regular yoga practice, it is good to go over some of the basics to ensure that you're not asking your body to overwork in certain areas, which over time could lead to aches and pains or other more serious injuries. So forward bending is I wanted to talk about is because it is a pose that potentially could cause problems in the lower back for some people, and that there are many ways or many cues that have been used to instruct forward bends. And so from different yoga teachers or yoga styles, you might hear different things. What I'm going to show you today is one way of forward bending, which I feel is a good place to start. It's a good place to start because it is a nice way to get into and out of a forward bend without stressing too much your lower back, and really allowing you to pay attention to safely do this pose and allow you to explore how you feel while you're getting into and out of the pose, as well as how you feel and what might change once you allow yourself to hang out in the pose for a little bit. So again, there are many different ways to explore your forward bend, but let's try this one. So whenever you're ready, we'll come onto your mat, and you may want to have a couple of blocks handy if you know that the floor might not quite get to your fingers as you fold over. And then just as in a previous video, we talked about the points of the feet. So forward bending is still a standing pose, so we do want to set up the correct foundation. So finding the points of your feet is a good place to start. So we're going to find the center of your heels, your pinky toe mounts, and your big toe mounts, finding those 3 points of each foot. And again, it might help to initially pick up all the toes and spread them out. And as you do so, really think about the lifting up of the arches of the feet, so the inner arches and the outer arches of the feet. And give yourself a moment to feel what's going on and what's engaging in your feet. And then see if you can slowly lower the toes back down without losing this engagement of your feet. And then see if we can keep this action of the feet going. Keep grounding, or keep being aware of the points of the feet as we begin to ground down from the tops of the legs into those points of the feet, and then into the earth 2 feet below. So feel rooted where you're standing. And we're going to gently hug the belly in and lengthen up along the spine. Feeling a little bit more space through each vertebra. And then just allowing your shoulders to settle into a place where it's comfortable. Noticing if you're feeling any tension in your neck and shoulders. And without judgment, just noticing these things and just seeing whether there's any way for you to be a little bit more relaxed in the shoulders and neck. So as the crown of the head is reaching up and out, or out and up through the ceiling, and you're grounding your lower body towards the earth, we're going to take a moment here to find your breath. And since we have our belly, lightly drawn in and lifting up, the breath will likely be contained in your chest. And noticing whether you can allow the breath to expand the chest in all directions as you inhale and release as you exhale. And whether you can continue with this breath without sort of using too much of the shoulders, or noticing if the shoulders are participating as you breathe. Okay, so starting from this point now, you have a couple of options for your arms or hands as we prepare for the forward bend. You can keep your hands close to your heart. You can have them in front of you. You can have them on your hips, or you might reach the arms up overhead. But let's just start, all of us, with hands towards our heart for this first one. So when you're ready, we're going to take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to gently draw the navel in as you kind of facilitate this exhale. We're going to start to bend into the knees, coming to a chair pose. So I'm just going to face this way so you can see what I'll be doing. So as you sink into your chair pose here, your knees are bent, belly is drawing in and lifting up along the spine. See if you can keep your natural spine, so without overly arching or rounding into the back, coming to your neutral spine, and continue to bend into the knees and start to hinge at the hips. And imagine you're trying to get your belly down onto your thighs if you're able to. And as you start to come lower down, keep bending the knees. Your hands might be able to reach the floor, or you can always bring your blocks underneath your hands. Now, when you feel like you can't go further without changing your spine, hold here. And then allow the rest of the spine to just release and relax down. And as you do, can you imagine each of the vertebrae finding a little bit more space between each vertebra, from the first or from the bottom, if you like, all the way up along the spine, into your neck, into the head. And your knees are still bent, your belly might be on your thighs. Just noticing how this feels, and whether you're able to create a little bit more space all along the spine. And then as you breathe, notice how the breath is changing the shape of your body, or the shape of your spine, or any sensations that you might be feeling. And as we come halfway up, we're going to bend a little bit more into the knees again. You can have your fingertips either on the ground, or again, you might have them on your blocks. You're going to find that neutral spine again, straightening out. And if you like, you might have your hands on your shins, or maybe even come higher up and bring your hands onto your thighs. Again, finding that neutral spine nice and long. Noticing that engagement in the belly. And then we're going to come back down as we exhale. Again, let's bend into the knees. Keeping the neutral spine, you're going to slowly lower and see if you can get the belly down onto your thighs. Hands can come down either on your blocks or maybe on the floor. And if you're able to get that belly to touch the thighs, wonderful. Otherwise, now continue to relax the spine. Again, letting it curve, finding space, or from the bottom of the spine to the top, to the head. Taking a few breaths here. And then this time, as you stay in this pose, you can start to maybe change the legs. You might just start with increasing or lengthening the legs a little bit and then bending back into the knees. You might do that a few times. And you might find that you might have to lengthen the legs a little bit more now. And as you do, notice what's happening into the points of the feet. See whether you can bring the weight evenly into all those points of the feet. Allow the head and the neck to relax. Taking another deep breath in and out. And again, coming halfway up, we're going to start by bending the knees. Hands might be on the floor, on the blocks, or on your legs. And legs can be still bent here, but you might be able to straighten them out while keeping your spine long. And then exhale, bend the knees, maybe belly on your thighs, coming back down, forward bend. Now to come up, we're going to bend deeply into the knees. We're going to open the chest, look forward. Hands can be in front of your heart or maybe reaching them out wide. And now we're going to use those legs. Press into the legs to help you stand all the way back up. Take a breath here. Okay. How did that go? So hopefully you would have felt perhaps maybe more attention in your legs, and hopefully that you wouldn't feel any straining on your back as you come into and out of the forward bend. Now moving a little bit faster now, you can either keep your hands in front of your heart, or you might sweep the arms up overhead. Inhale, and then start with the exhale, pulling the belly in. We're going to start to bend into the knees, coming to your chair pose. Keeping your spine in neutral, so we're not trying to straighten the spine completely. We want to still see the natural curve of the spine, but we're not emphasizing one or the other shape. Something that's neutral. Now see if you can keep this neutral spine as you start to hinge forward at the hips. You might want to bend deeper into the knees. You might want to grab blocks. Okay? So come to a point where, you're at the boundary of losing this shape in your spine. And then you're going to allow the spine to round forward, little by little, from the lower back all the way up, to the head. And then allow the spine to relax. Again, hands might be on your blocks, so maybe they're on the floor. And then once you're here, taking a few breaths, noticing what might be wanting to release here. And then you might consider lengthening the legs or straightening out the legs a little bit more while the upper body continue to relax. Bring weight evenly into the points of the feet. And then bend the knees as you come halfway up. Open the chest, lengthen the heart forward. And then bend the knees again, belly back down onto your thighs, coming back to forward bend. To come up, bend deeply into the knees. Sweep the arms either in front of your heart or maybe out, stretched out long. And then using those legs, press all the way up to stand. Hence your hard exhale. And take a breath here. So that was one way we could explore a forward bend. And I encourage you to try this out a few times at home, slowly, giving yourself lots of time to feel into the pose. There were many sort of components to what we did, and you might want to take a little bit more time to explore maybe what it feels like to find balance in the feet, how it feels to find space all along the spine, what's happening at the hips, what's happening in the legs. So, you know, give yourself time to explore these movements and these actions. And then when you do come into a yoga class, hopefully then these are going to be sort of already there, embedded in your muscle memory. So we won't be obviously moving as slowly in a yoga class, especially in, say, a vinyasa class. You might be doing this movement much more quickly. However, going through this slowly and knowing what feels right in your body is going to really help you to understand what movements are supportive to you. So hope you enjoy that. I'll see you next time. Namaste.